We are at the end of the book of Numbers, Bamidbar. Last week, we ended with the understanding as believers that what we should and what we should not be judging. If we don't judge things biblically, we will fall into traps of the enemy and we will face the same consequences as the ungodly, which we learned in chapter 33 of last week. So take heed and have an ear to hear. Welcome to Reconcile, the kingdom we're working towards becoming the harmony of the whole world truth. My name is Patrice Robinson, and I appreciate you as always by stopping by here on today. We're going to go through the significant events of chapters 34 through 36 of the book of Numbers. Chapter 34. This chapter, the children of Israel was given the instructions of their borders. The south region would extend to the wilderness of Zin to the side of Edom. The east side would start with the Dead Sea and continues in this area. The west side would be at the Mediterranean Sea. The north will begin at the Great Mediterranean Sea and go to Hor. The chapters continue with the borders around the country. They are reminded that Reuben, Gad, and the half of Manasseh had already received their allotment, their inheritance of the land. For the remaining congregation, Eleazar, the high priest, Joshua, and all the other tribe leaders, which will assist all the other tribes of their allotment and dividing the tribal land. Chapter 35. The children of Israel is commanded to give a portion of their inheritance to the Levites. They were given cities for pasture lands, equipment, and other animals. Yehovah told them how much land to actually give to Levites. And the cities should also include 6 cities of refuge for the one that commits manslaughter to flee to. The total number of cities were 48. Chapter 36. The heads of the family of Gilead from the tribe of Manasseh, which is one of the sons of Joseph, came to Moses about giving the land of Zelophehad to his daughters because he had no sons. They want to know what happens to the allotted land once one of the daughters get married. The daughters were required to only marry among their tribe so that the tribal land would not be exchanged hands, would not be transferred to any other tribes, because the tribal land is allotted according to each tribe and is not supposed to be being transferred. Today's focus is the promised land. If you notice, these last chapters were about the promised land allotment, the land, the portions. The king was setting up his kingdom as they prepared to conquer what was promised to Abraham. If you notice, they had many experiences of war just in the wilderness alone. They have fought many nations that had come against them and was able to take their land and more. From the time the congregation, the assembly, ecclesia, the church, entered the wilderness, he was preparing them for the promised land. He was building the firstborn nation to be a light to other nations and to lead the people of the world, the people of the other nations, to him, the Father. He was getting them prepared to receive his son and be able to recognize his son when he arrives. Now, living in the kingdom of this world, the religious ideology, worshiping other gods, and more can prevent us from seeing him that once was here and who shall return again. It prevents us from living in the kingdom that he had prepared on earth for his son to return to. It prevents us from attending the marriage ceremony with the husband that is coming for a bride prepared for him. Now, don't forget to join me on Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. for Sabbath day teaching as we continue our journey through what does Yeshua teach. And then I will see you next Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. for the Torah Chat Points, where we are going to have a summary of the book of Numbers. As always, man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yehovah. Have a blessed rest of the week, and thank you for joining me on today.